about 40,000 Afghans.
I was in prison at the age of 14, 15. Illegal immigrant passed crossing the border, and they didn't have a space in a refugee camp, but then they forgot us. And we were there for 6-7 months in the prison that we don't see in the daily life. I was born in Afghanistan in a very small village. I think 2 kilometers, the whole thing, and I never been out of my own village when I was a kid. For me, I always thought there was more to life than that. I saw American coming to our village, European countries, all the soldiers coming to our city, like they were all masculine, and that's how I wanted to look myself. You know, when I saw the soldiers, they used to come, bring us books and everything. And for me, everything was like, I didn't even knew where the countries were. I thought Germany and America were like close to each other, you know. And I just wanted to go and see other people, how people live, and you know. And then I start to like go to the next country. I walked 10 countries without knowing, so it took me 4 years. I was in prison at the age of, I think I was like 14, 15, because I was a illegal immigrant passed crossing the border, and they didn't have a space in a refugee camp. So they kept us waiting in the prison for a few days, but then they forgot us. And we were there for 6-7 months in the prison. And the story I learned from that was how many things we miss in a daily life.
How are you getting on?
We don't like nothing here.
Like just sitting here under a tree, breathing fresh air, you know, we can talk to people, we see people, we can see our families every day. Those are the small things that we don't see in the daily life.
And presented to our winner tonight, he is from Afghanistan, ladies and gentlemen, Ali Bilal.
So for me, it was, I never wanted to be a bodybuilder. It was never like really my goal. I didn't even know what it was. I just wanted to be big and I wanted to be muscular, and that was the only goal I had. When I went to watch a show with a friend of mine, it was actually a first show with Nicolas. I went to a watch show with one of my friends from the gym, and they asked me to go to Spain to watch a show. And 2 days before the show, I just took off my shirt in the hotel room, and the guy said, like, you can try too. And I went, I tried pretending everything on. I didn't know how to pose, nothing. And Nicolas was competing that day with me. And I won my class and I also won the overall. And then I went back home, I was like, oh, I'm good at this. But then, you know, when I found out about competing and bodybuilding, and, you know, a lot of people say that bodybuilding is very hard because of the diet. I come from Afghanistan. For us, like if we had chicken 1 time a week, we're very happy. So for me, bodybuilding was never really hard. Dieting was very, very easy, you know. It's like for all the Asian people, like not Asian, like most of the countries that have a little bit, they're not the richest countries. People are always more motivated. They have the great champions because, you know, they appreciate small things, and diet for them is not that hard like for people who are, you know, born in the rich countries and the easy environment. So for me, when I found out about bodybuilding, that was an easy sport to do. You just had to do, you know, just have to follow everything and you could get to the top. That's how I got there. It was actually like, I did stop bodybuilding after the 2023 Olympia. So my first Olympia, I win 4 pro shows. I got first call out at the Olympia. I was like at the top, like everyone was like hyping me, you know, like Ali, you know, you come out of nothing, you win your pro card the first year, 4 pro shows. Honor Classic, first call out Olympia, and then the next year I won a show, I qualified to the Olympia, and then I got last call out for some reason, I don't know why. And I thought I can never recover from this, because coming from last call out to the top again is very, very hard. So I just stopped competing and I was like, I'm not gonna compete anymore. But then someone pushed me really hard. It's like, you need to give it a 1 more try, and that 1 try changed my life, you know. For me, it was like this. I had a show planned in Spain the same week that Pittsburgh Pro. But I told my coach, I say, I'm not gonna do Spain. I'm gonna go to the hardest show. If I win Pittsburgh, New York, I'm gonna compete. If I don't win, if I don't even get top 3, I'm gonna stop. This is it. So I went to test myself at Pittsburgh Pro, New York Pro. If you can't win the big shows, there's no point in competing, you know. For me, it was always very simple. I've never been like someone who just want to try and keep trying and don't accept failure, you know. For me, it was like, if I can't do it, I'm gonna focus on something else that I'm good at. I just kept going, and the pressure was very high. After the first year, when I got so many good places, I had very high expectations. I think that really played with my mind. That's why I got extremely low placing the year after. But then when I got that, it really made me humble also, made me very hungry. But then I had the high again at the Pittsburgh, New York. When I won those shows, I got a lot of pressure again. Everyone was thinking like, oh, top 3, And then you get top 2 Olympia, and the pressure builds up. So I had a lot of high, low, which helped me a lot. I learned a lot from that. Actually, I didn't sacrifice a lot. In the beginning, it was just hard because you just push so much money into it. Bodybuilding is a very expensive sport. If you don't have a good support, like I didn't have any support, I always go to work 5-6 days, saved money, I had 2 jobs, and then that money I spent on bodybuilding, traveling to a show. And sometimes I was thinking like, why do I saved a lot of money and I spend on a show, I just get a trophy, like a plastic medal. It didn't make sense to me. But then I kept doing it and and after some time, and it just paid off. I think that the country I was born in helped me a lot. How to take pressure, how to come from nothing. And my parents, they taught me a lot, they didn't give me a lot, but how to talk to people, how to be friendly, how to be nice to people. And that also helps kind of in your career. You can be a champion, but people might not like you. So you need to be a good human too. It's not only about winning a show, but you also need to be a good champion, motivation for other people. I think if you chase money, you're going to keep chasing it the rest of your life, And if you, as I said earlier in the interview, if you want to do bodybuilding, it shouldn't be for the money. The money will come, but once you need to prove yourself, you need to get to the top level, When you go to a lottery, you buy a ticket for $50, you cannot expect to win 150 back, every time. You lose, then one time you win 10,000, So first you need to put in something and, you need to prove yourself. You need to get to a level. The money will come. And I don't think the money should be from the prize money, because prize money as a promoter, I don't think they make crazy amount of money you need to pay to the NPC, but a promoter can only pay that amount of money. The rest should come from the companies, from the sponsors, from your business, I don't compete for the prize money of it. I always donate my own prize money to Afghanistan, so I've never really kept one prize money for myself. If supplement brand doesn't come up and help the bodybuilders, who's gonna do it? So it's a really good thing that you guys are doing, and for the athletes to get that level of support. Like I didn't have this. When I started to compete, I didn't have anyone supporting me, no brand, no nothing, And if an amateur athlete can get all this, it's a bonus, it's a golden chance for them. You guys brought the NPC here, you have all these shows, and you guys also, if they win, you help them, to go to the show and everything, and I think it's a great thing. I paid everything from my own pocket, and I still do. I think I should move to Indonesia. And I think everything is possible. There's nothing that you cannot do as a human being, You shouldn't think like you were born in Indonesia, you can shine on the Olympia stage, maybe win over me, I was born in Afghanistan and I made it. So you were born in a beautiful, good country where you can travel with a passport. So you can do it too. And everybody can do it. Like today, someone who's watching me might not even started yet, but maybe in 10 years, they're going to be a top athlete. So anyone can do it, and you can do anything in life.